know that the Supreme Court heard oral argument, and
Yes.
the parties submitted written briefs, and I read some of the Supreme Court justices' comments. Where do you think they're going to go with this, based on what we know to this point?
Well, there are a variety of, just based on the oral arguments,
Yeah.
different justices have different ways of coming at this question. But I think that based on what I've read, it's likely that these sections will not be struck down because they really aren't viewpoint based.
Right.
For one thing, I mean, the easy one, right? If you are referring to a living individual and it's clear, now being a public figure, it makes it easier for someone to say, well, you're not saying, Donald J. Trump, but he is a famous individual, he's a well-known individual. People are going to know when you say Trump that you're referring to this particular individual. Before you can register a trademark, you should have the consent of that living individual.
So is the issue that there ought to be more free speech? In other words, I ought to be able to say Trump too small without infringing on someone's trademark?
The only question at issue here is whether or not this individual is entitled to a trademark registration, not whether he can use it or not.
Yeah.
So, some of the justices are making this very simple and just saying, this is not affecting your speech at all. You can still put out your T-shirts all day long that say Trump too small. But of course, we have this history where at least 2 other Supreme Court cases did dive into the content of the speech and did, in fact, analyze it. So, again, just based on the oral argument, right? That's all. We'll have to wait and see with the opinion. But it's either referring to an individual or it's not.
So only Trump has control over the use of his name?
Well, from the point of view of trademark registrations, right? I mean, then you get into right of publicity and all that. So we'll see. But I think these 2 sections of the way the Trademark Office examines registrations, not use, just registrations, I think will probably be upheld.
So when is the Supreme Court going to make a decision on Trump too small? Any idea?
I don't have any idea. We'll have to see.
We'll have to
follow
do
it. We'll
a
have to
follow
follow that SCOTUS blog.
I'd like to know where this goes.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Thanks, Kandis.
Good to see you.